Howdy, folks. Not Jay with Not Jay's Tabletop Gaming, and I've got the Baron and Baroness, Jaye and Robin Wiley of Wiley Games, and we just had a phenomenal weekend, and it's all thanks to these two people for bringing it together and bringing the team together that made it happen. So, welcome to the show, guys.
Yeah.
So the first question is why? Why did y'all decide to bring a new show to the Kansas City area?
Well, I think there's a couple reasons, and Robin will chime in too. But, we were all coming out of COVID, 2 years without any big gatherings, really. And, who doesn't need another war game convention in your life, especially when Kansas City and the surrounding area all have a pretty large wargaming community. So, it was a chance to get to see everybody after so long, but also I think just because we felt like we needed another affordable, wargaming convention.
All right.
And
it was the right time.
Yeah. And, we always praise our local con recruits, which is great for bringing in new people to the wargaming community. And we wanted to bring some of that in the springtime. Recruits is generally in the fall, well, almost always in the fall. And its fate is uncertain, so we wanted to be able to fill in any gaps if it does go away. If it does stay for a little bit longer, then we wanted to at least have a couple of cons under our belt before it was time to step up and maybe have to do a fall one too. So Robin has a lot of experience running the local Kansas City River Market for many, many years and making it what it is today. And then, I run a war game convention every Thursday at my house.
Right. Yeah. All right. So I noticed that when we were getting this going, and full disclosure, Robin and Jay asked me to be part of the team fairly early on.
Mm-hmm.
And because I have been dealing with conventions since the early 90s, actually helping run them since the early 90s. It's been a while since I've been as integral to it, and it was a lot of fun. And I appreciate the faith that y'all had in my abilities to help out. But when did you decide it was time to do this?
I don't know. It's her idea. So.
Well, I have been going to wargaming conventions for a couple of decades now just to help him. And after running the city market, this kind of seemed fun. So some little girls dream about their wedding for 20 years. I've kind of been thinking about this, and I've had a thought on how to start small and an intimate setting and quality wargaming, and just focus on the one thing, the wargaming. And when we get that right, and that's going really well, then we can work on expanding up and expanding bigger, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and still trying to keep the experience and the quality as much as we can. I mean, that was one of the things that we started from the first part of it was, we knew that we had no idea how many people would show up. especially coming out of COVID, and especially being our first, and being the same time as Adepticon, and we we knew from the beginning that we wanted to have some really nice games, and if somebody walked into the place we're having it, we wanted them to see a bunch of really cool games. Even if we didn't have enough players to play it, there's nothing worse than walking into a war game convention. There's like 3 games going on. And so, so we didn't have all 16 tables going at the same time, but the tables that were going were cool games and they were packed. So,
yeah. This originally sort of comes from an inspiration of Blam,
which is the British-led adventure meetup. So it was just a small back of a pub, 30 guys in London.
Maybe 6-8 tables.
Yeah, and it was just a bunch of guys that I get to know through Lead Adventure Forum, and they had really started playing a lot of Fistful of Lead, and so they were like, "Hey, you want to come out?" That was our first experience in that kind of small setting.
Intimate, everybody's super casual. You can just change games from here to here. Everybody just kind of decides what they want to play next.
Good food, good drinks.
Yeah.
And
so very much like the Wiley Wargaming weekend.
Yeah, so we did that almost immediately after we did that, and we've done that a couple of years. Started out in our local brewery, gave us their downstairs facility, and we did that 1 year, and then COVID hit, and then we couldn't do it.
We did it out of our home.
And then we did it out of our home, and so this seemed like the next step up. So,
one thing I did notice, as you said, all of the games looked really good, and I think that's it's definitely directly by the stipulation that you put forth. If you're going to run a game at March to Victory, you don't just show up. You got to apply for it. You got to give some photos. You got to give some idea of what you're actually going to do. And honestly, I like that idea.
And it was twofold. It was one, just to make the website look good, so that you knew what you were going to get to play, and build up some of that excitement and go, that game looks cool, I want to play in that. And then 2, you'd be surprised as soon as you ask somebody to take a picture of what they're going to do, all of a sudden they start to go, oh crap, I got to make this look good, or scare them out of the fact that maybe they don't want to put it on. So
I felt a responsibility having a brand new convention. We had to prove to them that we had games. It was a little bit of Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. Well, how do I prove to you that I built it, other than showing you the games that are going to be there?
Yeah.
Right. So being the first year, there you don't have any history. You don't have a gallery to show, hey, here are the games that were played, because none were played yet.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
I like that, and I think I think it helped. I think the reason we had as big a draw as we did, and I don't know what the final count of participants were there.
110.
110. You know what? For a first year, that's, to me, that's amazing. So, and the fact that we had people as far away as Texas, Des Moines,
Denver,
Iowa, Nebraska. One of the guys, Joe, he played on my table the morning. Was it the morning session? It was the morning session, Saturday morning session. And he said, you know what? I wasn't going to be able to make anything, I had thought about it, but I wasn't going to make it. But then my day cleared up, and I decided because I had seen the photos, I knew I had to be here to get in on this. I played the game once, loved it, and wanted to get down here and play it more.
Yeah.
So, absolutely having the photos of the games uh, definitely was a draw.
Yeah.
Absolutely was a
We
draw.
had I know we lost some people because the gas prices shot up, but we also had I had a guy come up during Chris Clucky's French and Indian War game, and he said, "I drove 4 hours just to play this game."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. So you for anybody out there that wants to start up a new game convention, first off, it's hard work.
Mhm.
You will drive yourself absolute bat crap crazy. But take Robin's and Jay's formula, and it'll work.
Well, I think having a good website helps.
Yes,
Which she did 95% of that. And
website looks amazing. I can't wait to see the gallery.
yeah, that'll be up here pretty soon.
Coming soon.
Yeah, we got taxes to get done by Friday.
Oh yeah, no, but take a breather. Take a break. Well deserved break.
I put a video out that had as
Working
many
on it.
pictures as we could. I know you've got pictures up. I know your brother's got pictures up. So everybody's posting everything, and that's always helpful too. But yeah, we put a little video montage together, and yeah, there was some really stellar stuff. The guys from Battleground had a great looking game. Aliens game was super popular.
Mm-hmm.
McMurray's airship battle game was popular. I mean, we had a couple of times where people like McMurray and then Ken's Wasteland Warriors game where they were only going to run one session.
They added sessions
and
just
then
because
extra
they were
people.
popular.
And we had to totally redo all of our tables because we kept, oh well, now we gotta figure out a way to.
Well, people wanted bigger tables.
Well, but people wanted to play another session. So
extra sessions.
I'm supposed to be at table 11 this afternoon, but the other guy's still going to run his game. So then we had to shift it over,
and I didn't want GMs to have to tear down and put back up, and
right.
Yeah, so we made adjustments, but it was great.
Yeah, and your inspiration for your Tantine 4 was just, would you have ever put that together if you didn't have to live up to the pictures you had submitted?
Yeah, I don't know. So for the TNT 4 project, I'm not done.
Yeah.
I've already. My brother has decided that I need to really go over the top. Maybe not immediately for next year. There will be more corridors next year.
Yeah.
But what he's wanting me to do is actually find a STL file of the Carillion Corvette, figure out a way to do the outline of the hull and print those out and just fill it with the different corridors and a cockpit. And he's even said to really go over the top, you just have it sitting there with the top also. And so when you start to play, you just pull the top off and there's all the corridors. Like, you're killing me.
Yeah.
But it would look amazing. And,
but everybody was very inspired by the weekend. I heard so many people talk about a game that maybe they wanted to try, or a game that maybe they wanted to bring next year, or even just one that they wanted to do for their club or personally. So I think there were a lot of inspirations that happened, and a lot of people were really excited for their next level of game or their next genre of game.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Well, and I know we're going to grow next year, even if it's just the couple of people that have responded to my quick little videos that I did over the weekend and a couple of live sessions I did. We got Mini Warmutt is absolutely going to be here. His wife actually said, "We're going next year, right?"
The date is set.
Yeah.
We have booked the venue. It is March 24th, 25th, and 26th, 2023.
Yep.
It's done.
So
we'll have Warmutt come in a day early so we can give him some proper barbecue.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about the food for him.
Yeah.
Speaking of food, what an inspired idea to have more than just Little Caesars or Domino's Pizza brought in. Much thanks to you guys for, bringing in the high quality food, and much thanks to the caterer who brought together the food.
Yeah.
The pulled pork was great. On top of the nachos, those beans were phenomenal.
He had beans with some brisket in them.
Some brisket?
Yeah.
I think it was half brisket.
Yeah. Half brisket, half beans.
And the great thing was, and those hot dogs were immense.
Yeah, he called them the home wrecker.
The home wreckers.
So definitely make that happen next year.
Oh yeah, and then we'd
like to. They're a really good local family, and they use their catering and their concessions to make college money for their 2 daughters. So, it's a good cause, and it's really good food.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's
and we had the facility as a bar, so that was nice too. So
just nice to have a drink while you're gaming with your friends.
Absolutely. But what's nice about having the really good food there is you didn't immediately think, man, where do I got to go for lunch?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You didn't have people leaving, so we'll probably change it up next year. But one of the things we had kind of an open block that was specifically made, one to make it easier to collect all the stuff from the silent auction, to where people weren't messing up a game to go collect their stuff. And then 2, to kind of encourage people to eat, hang out, have a beer, talk about wargaming. That's half the fun, is sitting there going, oh, how did you build that? And then have the guy, well, I did this, or, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
How do you feel? You could just sit there and talk about the hobby and, with people from all over, and find out what their gaming clubs are like, where they're at, and all that kind of thing. So, so we wanted to build that in specifically for that. So
yeah, we've already talked about maybe adding another session on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about having a raffle on Friday, maybe having the joust tournament going as you come in, because that would be kind of fun, and it would sort of be a nice icebreaker for everybody. We thought about a lot, maybe having the auction break and in 2 different ways, so 2 different times over the course of the day instead of just one.
Sure.
So I don't know. We've thought about a lot of different things, and we're going to keep coming up with ideas to make it better for next year.
Absolutely. And I can only think that it's going to get better and better year over year. This was not a flash in the pan, and by any sense of the word. I think what we've got rolling here is going to get better and better. And as I told you on Sunday when we were talking, I can see us 5-6 years, 350, 400, 450 attendees in a bigger location.
Yeah. I definitely think, we could definitely double the size of it, and still stay in the same place.
Oh, absolutely.
And, But then after that, the problem becomes once you do get that 300, get that 400, kind of that those numbers is all of a sudden the facility becomes exponentially almost more expensive. And I think one of the draws was the fact that we did it for $15. Now next year I think we could easily charge.
We're going to 20, and Vanguards will be 17.
But
you know what? That's still a hell of a great
price.
But we're adding another session.
Yeah.
And people will know now the quality that they're going to get.
Yeah, one of the guys from Lincoln said, he's like, dude, after I spent all the money to come down here and, pay for the hotel and the drive, an extra $5 is not that big a deal. And,
right.
And, your ATMs are spitting out 20, so it's easier, even on our end, to just have somebody going.
Just have a 20.
Dude, done. Now, so what I was saying was like a bigger place, then you start getting into like hotel spaces and stuff like that. And I don't want to be the place that's like $50,
Not yet.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not thrown into that.
Yeah. So we're going to try to keep it small. I mean, until this place is bursting at the seams, then it's, then we'll move on. But, this also worked out well because it's at a Legion Hall, and it's a Legion Hall that needs some love. And they were glad to have us, and we were glad.
We were glad to have them.
Glad to have them.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, so the more we could help them out, it actually worked out really great. Mm-hmm. So, I'd like to keep using them until we obviously have to.
Until we just don't have any other room.
And we talked about some other kind of venues.
But we do have room.
Yeah.
We have the best that we had. We had the most busy session that we had was 12 tables out of 16 that had terrain, and they were ready to go.
Sure. Yeah.
And on Saturday, we had 8 tables running on the biggest session.
Yeah, and all
on
with
Friday night, we had 6 tables running, like with people playing.
Yeah.
And Saturday, we had 6 people playing. So we have room to grow. There's plenty of room.
Oh,
all
sure.
those tables not only need to be filled, but now need to be filled with players.
Yeah.
So we got lots.
And we had a lot of the games were mine. Yeah. But that was because
we wanted to fill it.
We wanted to fill it
to look good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, that goes back to the philosophy is we wanted to make it look like there was a lot going on.
But as time goes on and we get more GMs with a greater variety of games, Wiley Games can.
I'd love to see a World War II game. I'd like to see some, tanks on the table. I'd love to see variety.
So I'm already making plans for what I'm going to be running next year.
Yep. So are we.
TNT 4 will be back.
Yeah.
My brother Jay and I are going to be bringing Kanji City. That's our
the cyberpunk one.
Our cyberpunk one. Yeah.
That'll be cool.
I'm going to be bringing my X-Wing miniatures to play Fistful of Lead Starfighters, doing Death Star trench run. I'm going to have an actual Death Star trench to fly on.
That'd be sweet.
And I'm going to be bringing my World War II naval combat game.
Yes.
Using 1/6000th scale ships. Easy to beat little dudes.
Wow.
But the table is going to be the Battle of Savo Island, and there's a website where you can make an STL of any place on the world that has elevation data on the map.
Wow.
So I'm going to print out Savo Island to be the terrain. Jay's all about, got to make sure you got terrain on your table, not just a blue sheet.
I'll see some big blue sheet with nothing on it.
Yeah, no, I'm going to, because I'm going to do such a small ships. I'm going to have Savo Island. I'm going to have the coast of Guadalcanal. I'm going to have all to a 50% scale of the ships. So the ships are 1/6000th scale. The islands and the coastlines of the other bigger islands are going to be at 1/12,000th scale, but it's still going to be like a 12-inch, island out there, or 18-inch island out in the middle there.
Yeah,
Cool.
So there's going to be terrain, Jay. Don't worry about it.
Well, I know our group has already talked about doing a 15 millimeter 40K game. So giant game with orcs and space marines and chaos, but they'll all be 15 millimeters. So
very cool.
It'll be somewhere between epic and traditional scale, and we're gonna go like old school Beaky Marines from Rogue Trader, and basically we're gonna take the cover of Rogue Trader and make that into a giant battle. So
the other thing I've been thinking about doing is, last time I went to Disney World, I got this.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's actually a popcorn bucket.
Okay. All right.
But they were smart enough to just hand me this and 2 boxes of popcorn.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about the butter in it.
Yeah, it doesn't smell like the.
It is basically 15 millimeter.
Butter.
Yeah.
So the game I'm thinking of doing is the escape from the Death Star in 15 millimeter. And start from where they're in the in the prison cells. Yeah. Escape into the trash compactor, and then they just have to get from that point over to where the Millennium Falcon is sitting, all done in 15 millimeter.
That'd be pretty sweet.
So that might not be next year, that might be 2024, but the thought is there.
Yeah, and while we're on the subject of Star Wars, as it usually happens with us, we're gonna be doing some fundraisers along the way to help. To help
May
pay
7th.
for next year, because in the we were able to break even on this one, but it'd be nice to have some seed money ahead of time to where it's already kind of paid for. So we're doing some fundraisers, and first one's going to be the May the 4th, which will actually be on the 7th, but we're going to do a Star Wars fundraiser that my dream is to have 3 tables that are all Star Wars. The battles are all interlinked to each other. So what's happening on one table has a direct effect on another table, and vice versa. So we're going to have at least one space battle going on and a couple of land battles going on, and
two different worlds.
Two different worlds, and
outstanding.
So
I'll be there. I already told Don we're going to be in Kansas City on May 7th.
So we've got that, and then we're going to do a fall one, and then we're going to do one.
We have the summer one.
The summer one, and then we have
Battles and Brews.
Yes,
there you go.
That'll be one. We're going to try to get the brewery again, local brewery, and have that as the venue for it.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to do a winter one. We're going to do a
Snowball
Jerry Lewis type telethon with a snowball tournament going on, where I'm going to do like 6 different tables. We'll have everyone will make their own snowball team, and we'll have a little snowball fight to the death. And
nice.
Mermen, elves.
Well, you can do whatever you want. You can have.
Okay.
It's going to be make your own team. So if you want Vikings, you want whatever you want, Yetis. So
Outstanding. It's going to be so much fun. And you said y'all broke even.
yes,
Yeah, I was going to ask, how we did, and breaking even. That's
yeah.
3 years ahead of schedule.
Yeah, that was originally we were going to try to, well, we wanted 3 years. We figured we would make a profit, and the profit
We
isn't,
hope 2024 is profit
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and not profit for us, but profit to be able to,
for the convention.
Yeah, go back into the convention and make it bigger and better
Yeah.
and more amazingly awesome.
yeah. So we fronted the money up front for the facility this year, and ticket sales and the fundraiser we're all able to, that we did earlier in the year, we're able to pay that. So it was zero. We were able to pay ourselves back at zero cost. And then Wiley Games did great. But so we want to be able to, be able to pay for it, obviously, and then have enough money left over that you're paying for the next one. And so it's all ahead of it. And then, when we do have leftover money, we want to be able to, have a better facility, be able to have guests come, all that kind of stuff. So,
But the first goal might be the second convention in the fall.
yeah. So, yeah, it might be having a second one in the fall. But right now, we don't want to compete or replace recruits. But we want to be able to do it if for whatever reason they're not going to go forward. So, so we want to be able to be in a place that we feel like we could do it if we had to. So
right.
Outstanding. Well, guys, y'all have anything else that you want to mention?
Yeah, you want vendors?
I do want to talk vendors for just a minute.
Sure.
Because Wiley Games, one of the interesting things about this convention is that Wiley Games was a vendor. So we weren't just doing this to make money as a convention. The convention is its own thing. Wiley Games was there just as a regular vendor.
Right.
But if you take our best convention ever and then you double it and then you put some change on it, that's what we made at March to Victory. So if you're a potential vendor and you're wondering, is March to Victory worth my while? I'm going to say yes. Yes, it was. And I arguably had the worst spot on the floor.
Right, because
when you walked in, you never saw Wiley Games until you turned around.
Yeah.
Right.
So if Wiley Games can do their best numbers ever at this con, having the worst spot, so can you.
So the thing for vendors, I'm going to lay this out to the vendors.
Yeah, they need to have a game going with what they're selling.
Exactly. What you want to do is either have a game going with what you're selling or get with somebody who is running games there to talk up your product. Because I know I ran exclusively Fistful of Lead Galactic Heroes this weekend. I talked it up the entire time. I know Steve talked it up every game that he ran. Cleveland McMurray wasn't running. Well, he ran Fistful of Lead Bigger Battles.
Yeah.
And guaranteed after the last die was rolled, after the last model was laid down with a wound, after, hands were shaken and good game said, invariably, those players that might have never played the game before or had played but not got the rules went and saw Robin and bought books.
It's a great game to learn.
Well, but yes, and I know that it's definitely, if you're gonna be a vendor, have a table running whatever you're selling, or or get somebody else to run it for you, or
That's how you get it. I mean, when people play the game and they have fun with it, they're going to want to take it home with them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and there's a little bit of room left to get another vendor or two in there, I think.
I do too.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if we need to get bigger, there are some places in the facility that we can fill in. I think this was specifically a wargaming convention, but I think definitely the next one we want to add in some board games.
Board games would be the one that we would add first.
We got approached to do some tournaments, but the problem with tournaments is you eat up a lot of table space with not too many people. So
right,
you've got the same size table that everyone else is running 6 or 8 people on, and you've got 2 guys on it.
Right.
And so if we've got 16, 18 tables, and then half of those are just 2 guys playing at them, then you're eating up a lot of real estate for a small.
Not many guys.
Not many people.
Right.
Yeah. Does that mean we won't do tournaments? No, we'll definitely.
No, because once we expand into a larger space, then we'll need to eat that space up.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll have room for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So just put a pin in that, and we'll get back to it in a few years.
Yeah.
So I was saying it all weekend. I'll say it here. I will say it on the live show on Wednesday, because we're going to talk about the live show. We're going to talk about the convention on the live show. In fact, one of my viewers who came up from Arkansas for the show because he wanted to meet me. He wanted to meet you guys. Reese is going to be on my show on Wednesday to talk about the show with me. But yeah, definitely, you want to be at March to Victory 2023 or March to Victory 2 or whatever we decide to call it.
Sure.
But also your program, although it's only 8 pages plus a cover, or 12 pages plus a cover, it's really well put together. Obviously, Jay, you're a excellent graphic artist, and I'm sure Robin has her hand in layout as well. But it's concise. It tells you exactly what's going on. The page of rules. Really, you only need to worry about one rule, and it should be the first and only rule you need, and it's don't be a dick.
Yeah.
But you can't necessarily write that out.
Sure. Yeah.
But it gives you all the information you need. It was well put together. Again, it shows that it wasn't just slapped together. And I'm not talking about just this. I'm talking because of how well the program was put together. It's a testament to how well the convention is going to be. Because I've been to conventions where it's just like you take a single sheet of paper and it's just folded in half with it might, and nothing against church bulletins, but it might as well be just a fold over piece of paper with not a lot of information on there. This has everything you needed in it. I will be submitting, but by email, because I didn't want to tear up my book.
Yeah. Well, we only had 4 people turn in the survey, and it was just generally stuff that we knew.
But I think maybe it might have been because they didn't want to tear up the program.
Sure.
Yeah, so one of my suggestions, where can we improve? Where can we improve? Put this on the back page right here.
Gotcha.
So you can just tear it out, and then have the front page be something disposable. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I said it all weekend, and I'll say it here, and I'll say it on Wednesday. This weekend was an unmitigated success.
Thank you.
It was phenomenal. It is exactly what I wanted in a convention. Great games, great people, great food, lots of fun. Relaxed the entire weekend, even though I was putting it together and making sure, keeping an eye out, making sure people weren't being dicks and all that. I was able to relax.
Well, we were able to do that because we had some great volunteers. We had about a dozen.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, so many great volunteers.
We had your wife who manned Donna, who manned the ticket booth. Which took a whole lot less stress off of Robin because she wasn't have to do that and everything else. And then all the guys from our gaming group, the Basement Generals, that volunteered to run the auction, to empty trash, to just generally
running games,
just generally keep things going while everything else was. They were all going around in the background, and you never saw what they were doing, and that's
music, right. Announcements.
So that's what you want, is you don't see it, that it runs seamlessly.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Walt Disney way of doing things.
Exactly.
It's things happen, things that have to happen that you don't want to be seen to make it happen don't get seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only time
barbecue for everybody that helped out. So
yeah.
So, well, Don and I are open whenever. So, guys, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up here.
Sure.
I want to thank y'all, not just for coming and chatting with me tonight, but for the entire weekend. I'm ready for the next one. Yeah. We'll make it bigger. We'll make it better. We got the technology. Insert $6 Million Man theme here.
Yeah.
So, guys,
ideas already.
Yeah.
We haven't even started.
Yeah.
Again, thank you once again, and we'll be touching base again in the future. See how things are going. So
perfect.
Great.
Until next time, we'll see you on the flip side.